The usual suspects love this show. I guess it helps them with their love situation as well. Welcome to it. It's now time for Teacher's Love Corner, where we discuss relationships and we get to deal with a letter from one of our listeners. Tonight, my letter reads: Dear Tich and Dr. Neaves, I've been in a relationship that was beautiful for the first 5 years, but time has passed, and 5 years later, I feel we are still in the same place, stuck. I always thought we would be married with 2 kids by now, having been together all this time. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore because I'm starting to resent my partner. We're not married, we have no children, and I'm 40 years old this year. I feel like I'm waiting for a life I want, and it's not going to happen. How do I break things off in a respectful manner? Please help me. This is a letter that comes from Anonymous. And this being a Wednesday, let me invite the one and only Dr. Nicholas Neaves. Doc, good evening. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening. Good evening. What a fantastic opportunity here to come to a decision and to get clarity, right? And so we really need to try and make sense of what is happening and be 110% sure that we want to end things. And I think
Mhm.
that's the next important step there, right? Is to really evaluate things and make sure that we've looked at all the bases there to make sure that we are not going to have regrets if we leave a 5-year investment. But it does sound like our writer there has possibly been feeling this way for quite a while. And I'd be quite curious to know, for how long have they felt like they've wanted to end the relationship? Generally, the first 2 years is normally quite wonderful, and it's a lot of the honeymoon sort of phase. And perhaps things have started to become a little bit more confusing, since it would seem that our writer would want commitment, and maybe the partner doesn't want commitment in the situation. And so it seems to be a bit of a dead end. Um, and so we would like to clarify that for sure.
Yeah, let's find out from the author of the letter, Dr. Neaves. Let me welcome Anonymous. Good evening. How you doing? Welcome
I'm
to
very well,
Channel
sir.
Africa.
And how are you doing?
Not bad.
Great.
So you're turning 40 this year,
Yes, I'm turning 40 years old.
Right.
and
Okay.
you're feeling stuck.
Oh, most definitely. This is exactly where I am in life now. It's because it's been so long as well.
Right.
I have been in a relationship for a long time, about 5 years, but 5 years later, I'm still feeling the same.
Still
So,
feeling.
yeah, this is where I'm at now. So I don't really know how to speak or to how to do it in a correct way as well, because we don't want to hurt people as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's very
Yeah.
it's really it's a fine line, if I should say.
It is. It is. And I really respect your heart and that you want to do it in this way and try and avoid as much hurt as possible. It sounds like
Mm-hmm.
your decision is already made up. Are you already decided that this is the next step to end the relationship?
Yeah, I think it's the best way to go, because we've been at it for quite some time and there is no movement. Like it
Right.
just feels like having like another roommate living with you type of situation, like
Mm.
living with a roommate basically. So
Right.
yeah, it's pretty tough. Pretty tough.
Uh, right. I understand there. And have you had deeper conversations about more commitment and actually getting married and taking the relationship further? And what's the response been like from your partner?
I think the first 5 years it was all cookies and cream, and it was very lovely.
Mm.
We were talking about future plans and all. But as
Mm.
it
Right.
went, it has become so stagnant and silent in a way that there is no
Mm.
communication. We are living with each other, but the communication is not as great anymore. So it's like we
Right.
literally don't. We are part of each other's lives, but technically we are not.
Right.
Like, yeah,
Right. I'm so sorry to hear that. And it's such a difficult and really uncomfortable space to be stuck. But I appreciate that you reached out and it seems like you're ready to take action there. And I admire that a lot. It does take a lot of courage. And you said that it's a very thin line and you don't want to hurt the other person. So respect to you there for wanting that to be the intention there. I'm just curious, have you had an opportunity to maybe express some of these needs, and have you been as open-hearted as possible to try and share your vision and what you'd like? And what's the reception been like from your partner if you've had those discussions?
Sometimes the reception is good. Sometimes it's very, if I can put it, egotistical in a way, where the conversations somehow turn to be, they take a turnaround, and it almost feels like an attack for him when he hears all of this. So the response has been up and off. Sometimes they are good, sometimes they're bad. But when they're good is when he literally, we speak about it. We do speak and he listens to me. But then it still somehow finishes in a way that it ends up being in his favor, as if I'm the one who's wrong, and it's like you are bothering another person. Like what they're hearing now is absolute jack, and they just don't understand where you're coming from in a way. So I can't even explain it really how exactly, but that's the feeling I'm getting. So the communication, the reception from the other side, I feel like I'm not getting through enough, even though the love is still there a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to hold things for another time.
Right. Oh man, yeah. I'm so sorry you're not being seen and heard, fully, to the extent that you feel that you've been, satisfied in what your needs are and what you'd like to experience in this relationship. It would seem like the person sometimes is open to it, sometimes not, and sometimes they get a bit defensive and maybe throw back into your court and make you maybe feel bad for that. And so you are absolutely right. That's defensiveness and criticism. And those are the beginnings of the end, really, because if you cannot get through to the person and actually also be respected in your desires, clearly the other person wants something else. And they're probably quite comfortable with the way things are, to be honest, and they're not really wanting to go further and have more commitment by the sounds of it. So, have you, another suggestion sometimes we think things are just black and white, right? And we have to either be in or we have to be out. Have you had an opportunity to think of maybe just pulling back a little bit and maybe saying what you need as a non-negotiable? And if that non-negotiable doesn't get met, then after 3 or 4 weeks, then you will be leaving. But I'd like to take this relationship further. Can you show me that there is a desire for more commitment? And let's see where we are in 3 weeks. And if that's not the case, then I am going to break my heart, but I'll have to say to you that this isn't working out for me. I'm someone who wants a deeper commitment. And if it's not going to be you, I'm afraid that I'm going to end the relationship. Right? So maybe give it like a 3-week or a 4-week period and say, yeah, I'm giving you the chance. This is what I need. This is the last chance, but I'm not actually going to go further. I have to draw the line here. It's going to break my heart, but let's see what your response is thereafter. Have you thought of doing something like that before?
Doc, if I'm being truthful a little bit out here, it's been taken. The toll also has taken a toll. It has taken on the relationship, obviously, but at some point we have broken up and then we came back together again, and we keep breaking up and coming back together. So the other thing, that's the other challenge. So it's like letting go is not that easy. But I do hear your suggestion, but it is, the letting go part of the whole relationship is the most crucial, because now we are involving family as well into the mix, the friendships as well into the mix. Because when we did meet, we eventually, in the long years that we've been together, other entities have also come into the relationship. So it's not like the relationship is only ours, if I'm to put it.
5 years. Yeah, it's a 5-year investment. I understand it involves a lot of people there. And so, if you do continue in a relationship where you're not getting your needs met, you're also going to be abandoning yourself, right? And at the end of the day, you are the most important person. And, these decisions often then reveal to you who the true friends are and the true family members are. And those that love you will support you and understand. Many people have been through breakups and understand that not all relationships last. And so those are the people that will stand with you. And so it's a defining moment. And I urge you to dig deep and find the courage and, really use your empathy. I can hear you have a lot of that, and really let the other person know that you understand the impact this is going to have. But this is the decision that I've come to. If I continue, I know I'm betraying myself. I do need more. And I'm going to, again, break my heart. But this is my decision. I hope you respect that. And then you're going to need to stick to that, because then the person might fight back or disagree or whatever it may be, or try and manipulate you. You just have to keep sticking to that. And every time that they make it difficult, you just have to say, I'm so sorry, but this is my decision. I'd like to go in a different direction. This is no longer serving me. And I hope you can respect that. And that's generally the best way to bring these things across. And then see what happens. If they get really angry and nasty, then you escalate the boundaries. And if they don't respect that, you escalate the boundaries again until you have to keep going all the way to maybe blocking them and actually really cutting them out your life, sadly. But hopefully it'll be a situation where they might see the light and understand also. It may not happen up front. They will probably be very disappointed and sadly to say, they could possibly be hurt. And that's something that you can't really avoid. But staying is going to ultimately hurt you more. And that's what you must take away from tonight is you have to be there for yourself. You can't be there for another person, because otherwise you will burn out and you'll end up in a bad place. Okay, so please dig deep, find the courage, and rather not delay it any longer, and just share from your heart. And my love goes to you, and I wish you well with that decision. But I think it's the right decision at this stage.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doctor. I do really appreciate
Yeah.
advice, and I will give it a try. But it doesn't sound as easy. It's not easy. It doesn't sound as easy as you say it. But
I understand. Look, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 breakups in a way to actually finally get there, right? And so it might be a slowing down of the relationship until it finally becomes something that ends naturally on its own. But start that process, okay? It's very difficult to be very strong. If things carry on and you're finding it really difficult, then please reach out for help with somebody. There might be a few sort of codependent patterns, maybe some other issues there psychologically that keep you from actually making the decision. And that means that emotionally you really are quite sort of entangled in the relationship, maybe in a bit of an unhealthy way, and you might need some support just to get through that part of it, okay?
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
Okay, man.
Anonymous, before you go, Anonymous, you did say you are living with your partner?
Yes, we live together.
Yeah, so well, that makes it a little more difficult, you know what I mean? But,
that's the other thing.
Yeah. So we wish you the best. It's a very tough, as you're saying, and taxing decision to make, but you sound like a brilliant person. We only wish you the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Right. Good luck.
Good luck, yes, indeed. Dr. Neaves, heart-wrenching letter and conversation tonight, but we wish our dear friend the best in the future.